also spend some time celebrating Groundhog Day, since it is a uniquely Pennsylvania holiday. Guys, we're going to be talking about a few things today. We're going to be finishing up Chapter 2. We're also, by the way, going to be going over some current events, which I find pretty interesting. I finished grading everybody's Chapter 1 homework this weekend. Guys, I had a couple folks who did not complete the assignment. Please, if you're having trouble with this stuff, come and see me. Your next assignment is going to be due on the 7th. And what I'm asking you to do is to apply the 8 elements of a business model to the business that you're coming up with. So again, think direct. If you want to use the template I provided, use that PowerPoint. Feel free to make it good, easy, and direct. So if you have questions, though, hit me up, because we're going to be moving at a pretty good clip through Chapter 2 and into Chapter 3. We will review before our first test, though. However, we're going to talk a little bit today. We got to talk about Google a little, guys. How many of you have seen the commercial? The Super Bowl ad. For those of you who have not, we're going to take a minute to watch this ad. I think it's a very important... Any reactions? Yes. Anybody? Oh, Shirley, if you have a heart, you have a reaction. Bummer. Tell me more.
I don't know. It's just like, I guess like it's just like the thing about growing old and stuff, and like having relatives who it kind of capitalizes on those emotions, which could be considered predatory, I guess, because it is still mad.
Pretty interesting. So we've got the idea. This is still a product or a service we're talking about here. I won't bias your responses, because I have opinions too. Other reactions. What are your reactions to this? Oh, for God's sake, say something. Have a heart. What was your response to this? What did you feel?
It might be bad, but like it was really sad. But my first thought was like, I was thinking about like telling Google stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I want them to have all this information.
Exactly right. To me, this is like, on one hand, I feel it tugging on my heartstrings, because we're all on that inevitable march toward the grave. We're all going to die someday. And everything we love or ever care about is going to die. And that's the first thing I'm thinking of. This is so sad. This is so terrible. But wait a minute. They're trying to prey on old people to tell all their stuff to Google? I had that reaction too. Did anybody else have that reaction? So, did anybody have just a pure emotional reaction? Let's be honest. Raise your hand if you have the feels a little bit. Okay, I had that too. So I'm trying to reconcile these two things. It's also saying something very significant about Google's advertising, marketing, and positioning plan. What is unusual about this for a tech company? Yes?
It's not really showcasing any technology, just kind of like demonstrating a very basic aspect of what they're doing with the product.
Yeah, so they're talking about basically this is not even mentioning the underpinnings and the tech and why this is so significant. What else is significant about this? Guys, who's this ad targeted to? Exactly. Guys, Uber does not target their advertising generally to older people. Amazon does not generally target their advertising to older people. Google, basically, arguably the most powerful and high-tech company in the world, spent, and this ad was over a minute long, so they spent over $10 million, probably closer to $11 million, to get in front of people to talk about, hey, we're going to help older people be able to save their memories. And it's implied that this guy has some kind of dementia or other issue going on here. This is significant, guys. Where is Google positioning themselves in people's lives? Yes.
That is like a friend almost.
Yeah, tell us everything. If you want to remember it, tell Google. We'll be good with your information. Yes.
It almost kind of like suggests that it's a necessary part of your life. Like it almost kind of like raise it like a friend or even a family member. It's like it almost showcases that maybe eventually you can't live without it.
Are we there already? Seriously, how many of you, by a show of hands, have used Google for something in the last 4 hours of your life? Yeah, me too. And so this is the next part of it, where we start marching toward the inevitable end. We're going to trust that to Google as well. What are some of the implications? Why does Google want this information? In addition to the fact they're trying to say they're our friend, and maybe they are. Maybe they do have good intentions here too. I don't want to completely vilify them. There are some good things to be said here. But are there other intents as well? What might they be? I'm feeling philosophical today, guys. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. What else might they be interested in? Yeah.
They would have like more like personal records on people, right down to like how they're feeling, which is like pretty dangerous.
So we're talking about monitoring somebody's emotional health. We're possibly talking about sharing our information with other people, maybe even family members. For example, too, if we start all documenting these things with a company like Google, they can market all kinds of things to us that might make us feel better. Oh, I might want a companion service. I might want somebody to come check in on my dad or my mom, do some sort of adult daycare, for example. Or maybe this person needs a pet. It's implied they have a dog, too. Or maybe, for example, there are other things we could sell them that would make them feel more connected as well. I don't buy it that it's strictly philanthropic. I don't buy it that it's strictly being nice, although there is a part of that as well. I think that there's part of this that is also predicting the future, and the fact, on average, guys, in terms of total populations, the United States, where do we fall in the continuum? Are we a younger or older country by our average population age? We're getting older, man. And the average person, if we go to developing countries versus developed countries, we have average ages are much older. And so this is starting to appeal to people not only who are aging themselves, but we're also going to be taking care of their parents. This is significant stuff, guys. Any other reactions to this? I know I'm fired up about it because I'm trying to reconcile the fact that the ad still makes me feel something. Because, I don't know about you guys, has anybody here, do you have older family members? Yeah. By the way, guys, it's one of the saddest things in the world when you see somebody who's older lose a spouse that they've known for 50 years. I mean, that's the unraveling of your life. And yet, I feel something on that. On the other hand, it bothers me that that's being used as something to market and position the company. Any reaction? Yes?
This is not emotional. This is kind of just something I was thinking, like, when I watched it. It's like, so my aunt is very, my grandma had 14 kids, so she has a lot of.
Wow.
So my aunt is very, like, she works, like, director of communications, she does that type of stuff, so she loves technology. So she got my grandma an Alexa, and, like, I feel like this is marketing more towards the kids of people with older parents rather than, like, the old people themselves, because my grandma hates Alexa. Like, she can never get it to work. Like, my aunt's, like, went down there for a whole day, set up so she could, like, use it to turn the channel on the TV and stuff. She, like, broke the clicker, and, like, she hates it. She doesn't use it. It just, like, sits there. My aunt's the only one that uses the Alexa. So I think it's, like, they have a good idea, but, like, in reality, getting technology to work at this time with those of older population who maybe don't always get their voice loud enough or, like, to the proper cues, or, like, when it doesn't work properly and they just get frustrated. It's a good idea, but I don't think it'll actually play out very well, because if it's anything like my grandma will just sit there.
I think there's a few Alexas gathering dust for the same reasons you just outlined, too. Yes?
I'm probably going to take the opposite side of that. My grandparents actually love technology. Even though they're not great at it, and my grandfather got, like, one of the old iPhones. Every single time I see him, he shows me 100 pictures that he took from the last time I saw him. He loves that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And my other grandma, she's on Facebook like crazy. But, like, I think she is kind of crazy herself. So if her post something that makes sense, she's always on Facebook. So I think it could work.
My mother-in-law is 74 and is the most active Facebook user I know of.
Absolutely.
And she takes her iPad everywhere. I mean, literally, she's taking it to funerals. Like, she's taking pictures because that's what you do when you're that age. I see the look on your face, and you want to say something, but you also realize you don't dare. You just let it play out. Here's the other target for this ad, though, guys. You guys are generically referred to as if you consider yourself Gen Z or Millennial, you're the younger generation. This is geared to people my age group. We're Gen Xers, so we're raising kids and we're taking care of our parents at the same time. You guys will be in the same movie probably even longer than we will because people will be living longer. So this is the new role we're seeing for technology, potentially even for e-commerce. So keep your eye on this stuff, guys. In fact, if we have time at the end of today, has anybody ever seen there was a parody of the Amazon Alexa called the Alexa Silver?
Oh, with SNL?
Yeah.
That's literally my favorite thing in the world.
We'll watch that at the end of class to build to Hunter's point. But guys, I know I'm a little fired up about it because I'm still trying to figure out my feelings about it. So I apologize if I'm fired up today. Plus, we just came off of a fantastic discussion in the Batman class today where people were really in. So I'm in today. Guys, we are into the business-to-business realm of the basics of e-commerce, particularly talking about business models today. We're going to blow through this pretty quickly because we've hit a lot of this, and I want to spend some time talking a little bit more about disruption. The bottom line is whether you're business-to-business or business-to-consumer, e-commerce is a disruptor. It lowers the barriers for us being able to build businesses, and all of a sudden people are able to get into industries and disrupt in ways like never before. The best example we always use is Uber. We're also going to be talking about Amazon, not just as a reseller, but as a service provider. So what this also says is that we can get suppliers from anywhere. We can get buying power. We can buy from multiple people and get bids very quickly. All this stuff really changes the fundamental way in which we do business. So how does this, guys? When we start talking about industry value chains, who here has ever taken a POM or a supply chain class? Have you guys taken POM? Okay. Productions Operations Management. Guys, before I read anything off of this slide, can somebody tell me one way on a business-to-consumer, or I'm sorry, a business-to-business sense, where technology changes the way the businesses operate with each other? How does tech change that, guys? Yes?
Compared to, a long time having to go person to person to talk to somebody, just video call.
So we can speed up the administration, for sure, yes. So get rid of paper, for sure. POs are a thing of the past, purchase orders. How else? Let's say we're making something, yes?
Interactions with the customer. So like before, you used to have to call in if you had something wrong or like you had a complaint. But now you can post a review. If there's an issue, it's all online. You just put the product in Word, they create you a label, and you send it right back in. So it's like
Amazing.
a lot. You don't have to pay somebody to deal with customers. You still do, but not as much as the past.
Has anybody ever gotten their Amazon return before the box even shipped? It's amazing. Once they scan in your barcode at a return, it comes back to your account. There it is. It's much more quickly. It works much more quickly, I should say. In addition, though, if we got things like recurring orders, instead of me having to call a supplier and say, look, we're out of ball bearings for these axle assemblies, can you please send me some more? We have automated inventory systems that automatically say, hey, guess what, Tonkin Corporation? You've got 1 day's worth of inventory. We're going to go ahead and place an order for this new set of ball bearings so they're already there so you're not going to have to cease production tomorrow. We're seeing disruptions in some of these things right now with what's happening in China, for example, with the virus outbreak because manufacturers are shutting down. But the automation behind this still makes us much more quick at doing these things. Guys, what we have here is the traditional supply chain. And what this is, basically, we have the folks who make parts for things that we make. So suppliers, for example, are making ball bearings, or they're making steel, or they're making processed wood products, anything that a manufacturer would use to make a product. This is a traditional distribution chain. That goes from manufacturers to distributors, people who take that to retailers and out to customers. It is the most traditional way of doing things that there is. And I apologize, I meant to have some animation on there, but the point is, with supply chain management being digital now, basically, from the point where we're actually making a product for the manufacturer, we can go straight to the customer with it. Amazon's taken this to the next level because they're not even saying you need to use a distribution service. You don't need to use the United States Postal Service. You don't need FedEx. You don't need the UPS because we're going to have our own. Oh, we got an error. We're just going to let that go and see if we can still record. It is, some days you have your day, and today is not that day. Take that. I find that if you just keep clicking stuff, eventually it goes away. It worked. So anyway, Amazon disrupts that even, guys. But in the traditional business model, at least we still had suppliers, we still had shipping companies that were still in business, but that's even being owned now by Amazon as well. We're going to watch a brief 5-minute video that shows you how Amazon is disrupting that part of things as well. What we're really talking about is finding new and innovative ways of eliminating costs. How many of you have heard about the controversy between Amazon and FedEx over the last year? What's happening there? Yeah, what's going on, Joe?
They were, like, FedEx is giving them such large discounts because they're shipping so many products for them. But then the discounts were so big, they weren't really making much money off of it. So they kind of told Amazon, like, we have to stop the discounts, we'll stop going for you. And Amazon has their own shipping service. So they're like, we don't need you.
Yeah, so they're basically putting up the middle finger to Amazon, or to FedEx rather, and saying we're going to do it ourselves. Guys, when I say this too, is there another possible outcome? We take here the wealthiest company revenue-wise in the United States and the world at this point. They're investing heavily in their own transportation infrastructure. Is there another potential outcome, or even a potential business looming here for Amazon? What are we thinking, Hunter?
Just like with a lot of things that Amazon has done.
It's back.
The traditional, like, brick and mortar store, how it's changing how you adapt